Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Aman ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, I'm not very sure either today I'll have to speak in Malay or in English. So Abdul Samad told me that I should speak in English. Days are passing very fast that we cannot even realize. It was only as if it is only a few months ago. We are in 2020, but now we are in 2022. 2 years has passed as if it is only few months have passed. Malaysia wants to become a developed nation by 2020. It was mooted as the mission of the country by Tun Dr. Mahathir, probably in the 90s, that Malaysia will become a developed nation by 2020. He stepped down as a Prime Minister in 2004. He was replaced by Ahmad Badawi, later by Najib, and then Najib stepped down in 2018. Then Mahathir took over. He took over again as a Prime Minister, and in 2020 the country does not become a developed country. Did not become locked down. That's the year of the COVID. In 2020, Muhyiddin Yassin, who was the Prime Minister at that time, declared total lockdown, whole country. So what 2020 means is a time when people have to go inside the house, pondering and thinking as to why we are not achieving the goal to become a developed nation. We have been known in the world as developing nations. Other countries in the world are known as underdeveloped. Underdeveloping, Malaysia is developing, wanting to become by 2020 developed nation. I do not know whether we are developed nations or not, but no one really declare. We are brave enough to declare that Malaysia is a developed country by 2020. Why we have not been able to achieve? We are not. When 2020 have come, we are not, proudly exclaim to the world that Malaysia now is a developed country. No one dare to proclaim Malaysia as a developed country, because truly and certainly Malaysia has not achieved the status of a developed nation by 2020, because there's almost nobody who is working towards it. Nobody. not even Mahathir, when he was Prime Minister. Because there is no plan. Simply saying we will become a developed nation by 2020. What is the working plan towards achieving that goal? There is no plan. Hardly any plan. And what is a developed nation? Defined. Make a definition. There is no definition. Simply saying a developed nation. So when there is no definition of a developed nation and there is no steps towards making Malaysia a developed nation, towards achieving that definition, then we will never become a developed nation, because there is no working plan. First of all, we do not even understand what it means by a developed nation. Is to become developed nation is to become like America or Russia or China or European country? Is that definition of a developed nation that we want? So we did not define it. Simply saying that we want to become a developed nation by 2020. So no definition, no strategy, no working plan. So certainly it is only words, what we call it, only jargons of words. And the habits of making jargons of words continue. Najib put one Malaysia. What do you want in one Malaysia? What is your definition of one Malaysia? Ahmad Badawi, Islam Hadari. What do you define by Malaysia and Islam Hadari? No definition. Only simply a jargons of words, simply to deceive people that my government has an aim, has an ambition, or has a target to become a developed nation, to become Islam Hadari, to become one Malaysia. And finally, Muhyiddin Yassin, only busy in combating COVID-19, and this Ismail Sabri saying Keluarga Malaysia. They are all not having one aim. Another Prime Minister will come up, they will make another aims, and so on and so forth, without achieving anything. Because there is no understanding of what you want to be, what you want your country to be. When you do not know what you want to be, you will never be able to become whatever you want to be. Simply saying is not going to achieve your goal. This goes in anything that you want. You cannot define it. First, you don't have definition of what you want to achieve. Secondly, there's no working plan to achieve that aim. Then you will never be able to achieve it. This is what is wrong with everyone in this world. Some people, they don't even have aims. As I told you previously, people are trying to make their children to become doctor, engineer, and that is the whole aim. Police. They basically do not know what they want to become. Simply want to become policeman. Siti Nurhaliza was asked, if you do not become a singer, what will you be? He said, when I was a child, my father is a policeman, I want to become a policeman. And the other lady said, I want to become a nurse, midwife, not nurse, but I end up become singer. So everybody do not know what is their aim, what their country want, what they want their country to become, what they want to become, what their children want what they want their children to become. Nobody knows. Completely at loss. At loss. Like Malaysia want to become a developed nation. Developed nation is a word. What it means? No meaning. No? Samad knows? What is a developed nation? Huh? He doesn't know. You? Don't know you? Yeah, what it means. See, nobody knows. I don't know whether Mahathir knows when he said we want to become developed nation by 2020. See, I don't hear any lecture of his that explain what he wants Malaysia to be, other than saying that we'll become a developed nation by 2020. Do you know? You don't know. Yeah, everybody do not know. So how are you going to achieve it when you don't even know what to achieve? Isn't it? That is one example, of failure, not able to achieve Malaysia as a developed nation by 2020. First reason as to why is because they don't even know what it means by the developed nation. Secondly, they don't have, naturally when they don't know what it means, they don't have the working plan. And this is a wrong way of doing things in anything. Not knowing what it is. Secondly, there is no working plan. You can't achieve anything without having a working plan. And you don't have a working plan unless you know what you want to achieve. You don't know. Someone want to become a professor. What's your working plan? To become a professor? You must have a working plan. This year must do this, next year must do that. Then. The third year must write books. Then I will submit my books. My book will be read by all computer schools in all over the world. Then I submit for professorship. Then probably he will get it. But if no plan, I want to become professor. No working plan. You'll be able to achieve it or not? Never. You know, but you never do. You never did, isn't it? You never did anything. First, you don't have any aim of life, what to become. You don't even know what to become. You don't even know what to become. Everybody doesn't know. And that is called a purpose of life. I just want to become a husband where I can fuck my wife every night. That is the aim of Sufyan, fucking. I will fuck my wife every night. And that's all his aim is. So he become animals, isn't it? When night comes, he will fuck his wife. When night comes, he will fuck his wife. That is all his aim. He don't have to think what to do. He just fucking. They will become fucking devils. Either they will have children or not. He will not, be able to achieve. It's not important for him. As long as I can fuck my wife every night, that's it. I achieve my aim, fucking. Is that the aim? Is that the aim of your life? What is your aim of your life before you met me? Before you met me, what is your aim of your life?
Enjoy.
Enjoy means fucking lah. Isn't it? That was his aim, fucking his wife every night. And you, before you met me, what is your aim of your life? To become professor. You, before you met me, before you are blind, what is your aim? No aim. Simply fucking your wife lah if you don't have no aims. Most people who don't have aims in their life, they have only one aim: to enjoy. To enjoy means to fuck his wife every night. So that is an animal. That is very animalistic aim of life. Allah has not made us as animals. Allah does not make us become animals. Allah makes us to become the vicegerent of Allah. So the vicegerent of Allah is the lover of Allah, His representative, Can you become a representative of Allah without emulating the qualities of Allah? You know emulating means? You know or not? Emulate. Bukan waris. Emulate. What do you mean by emulate? Unless you emulate the qualities of Allah, able to adopt the quality of Allah, the main important quality of Allah to be adopted by man is merciful and compassionate. These are the most frequent words which Allah have ordered us to mention in every action that we are going to do. You read Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, most compassionate and most merciful. Why Allah wants us to recite this before doing any actions of ours? Because Allah wants us to emulate these qualities of Allah within ourselves. Then only we become the vicegerent of Allah. Many people do not know this. Vicegerent of Allah, Khalifah. So they start making schools, the little Caliph, and they start to making organization. What's it called? Hizbul Tahrir. Hizbul Tahrir is an organization to make the Muslim Ummah to return back to having Caliph, that's all. Without knowing what Caliph means. No, you don't know. You ask them, what Caliph means? They don't know. What is a developed nation? You don't know. What is one Malaysia? You don't know. Simply saying, this is people of ignorance, and they don't want to ask also. People of knowledge like me, they don't ask. They don't bother. They simply say, developed nation, Islam Hadari, and not knowing what it is. The little Caliph, Hizbul Tahrir, Ulul Albab. They want to make Muslims to become Ulul Albab, so everyone must read Quran and memorize Quran. And this is very wrong. First, they don't know what Ulul Albab is, and certainly their working plan to make people to become Ulul Albab is wrong. Ulul Albab is not memorizing Quran. So this Dato' Idris Juso, he's my friend. While I was studying in Australia, he was studying engineering, but he doesn't complete it. He returned back home because of the death of his father. He wants to carry on with the business of his father, but he doesn't know. He has the aim. He has the Islamic, inclination. He was the chief minister of Terengganu. He wants to make the people of Terengganu to become Ulul Albab. Ulul Albab, another translation of it, the people of knowledge. But it's not what the people of knowledge which he has understood as a person who able to memorize the Quran. It's not the person who is able to memorize the Quran. The people who practice the Quran. Do different thing. Able to memorize the Quran, able to practice the Quran. Completely, dramatically different. Very different. Many people think that once you memorize Quran, you will enter paradise. Not only that, you can give syafaat some more. only memorizing the Quran. This is the reason why they are ignorance. They are very ignorant. Allah do not send the Quran to be memorized only. Even there is no order in the Quran to memorize the Quran. Allah says it is easy to memorize the Quran. There is no other book which is can be memorized as Quran is. You get another book other than Quran and try to memorize it. See how many years you will take. Even 20, 30 years you cannot memorize any book. But you can memorize the Quran because it's the words of Allah. Allah make you to make it easy. Allah make the Quran to be easy to memorize. But there is no order. But we simply, build so many madrasa teaching girls and boys memorizing the Quran and not obeying the Quran. The Quran is not sent for us to memorize them and to recite it in such melodious voice with tajweed and what do you call it, with the tanween, with what? With what? They read the Quran. No, with this taranum. Who very beautiful. There's one family, all the daughters, the son, able to read Quran with taranum. Amazing voice and amazing recitation of the Quran. But Allah do not order us to read the Quran only in that way. Allah primarily send the Quran to be obeyed. These are not. We are not very, very keen in obeying the Quran. We are only keen in memorizing and reciting in a very, in a very melodious way. And then we say Allahu Akbar. That's it. That is Quran is all about. So that is the reason why we do not understand what is ulul albab. He mentioned in the Quran that ulul albab is a person who is standing, lying, or sitting. Remember Allah. You need to define it further. What that means. A person who are looking at the stars, the moon, they think about Allah and they come, to utter words, oh Allah, you do not create all this for nothing. These are ulul albab. When they look at the heaven and the sky, they start to think about it to the extent that they come to conclusion that Allah exists. Allah exists and Allah is seeing. So in every walks, in every action that he or she does in this world, will lead him or her to remember Allah and to obey the orders of Allah. That's called ulul albab. And on the other hand, all those ulul albab whom Dato' is Yusuf want to produce, to not remember Allah in whatever they look, only memorizing the Quran, no more than that. That is not ulul albab. That is not ulul albab. Ulul albab is a people of thinking, thinking and glorifying Allah day and night while standing, sitting and sleeping or lying. So once you understand what is ulul albab, then you must make a working plan. How to produce ulul albab? Naturally, is not by asking them to memorize Quran. If you've been doing that because you don't understand what ulul albab means. If ulul albab means a person who are thinking, then you must teach them how to think by looking at the sky. But these are not being told to them. Simply memorize the Quran, ulul albab. This is simply say Malaysia developed nation, that's it. Developed nation means having high-rise building. Developed nation means having good roads. So that's what we are having to a certain extent. The time of Mahathir is a developed nation means having the highest building in the world. In 1998 or maybe until 2004, highest twin towers, and that's all. But it doesn't make us a developed nation. Define it. What developed nation means? What developed nation means? Define it, Mahathir. Define it. Why you do not give any definition? Because you don't know. You define developed nation only having high-rise building. So you build twin tower and you build good roads. That's it. Isn't it? That's what Mahathir think of a developed nation. Developed nation should have a nation of good characters. That is what developed nation means. Developed humanly and physically. A developed nation means having human beings who are living in that nation of good characters. If you say a developed nation is a nation whom the people who are dwelling in that nation is animals, like America, Europe, you don't call that a developed nation. You know, what they understand as a developed nation is a nation which have a high per capita income, GDP. The more higher the GDP is a rich country, actually, not a developed nation. You can call Singapore a rich country, not a developed nation. You can call America to be a modern country with a lot of sophisticated physical, things, but not humans. Definitely America is not able to produce a great, a humanity with great characters. Not long ago, the time of Trump, they rebuke the result of the election, and they don't only rebuke, they form groups to attack, the place of, like a place of great, regarded as so highly respected, in their system of democracy. They go and attack that buildings to try to prevent the inauguration of Biden as a president of America. Such a worst character, no? Okay, it's not a developed nation. Not only that, they take out their clothes, they kill the black. It's not good character. So it's not a developed nation. It may be a country with a lot of weapons to kill people and having wars everywhere in the world, but not a developed nation. Definitely not. And you ask them, your nation is a developed nation? When you don't have good humanity, good standard of characters, and definitely you are not a good nation. So a developed nation is a nation where people are of good characters. And in order to have a good character, naturally, the people in that country must obey the orders of Allah, which Allah has mentioned in the Quran. For them to be able to obey the orders of Allah which are in the Quran, they must become the people of taqwa. And how to become the people of taqwa? Not to read the Quran, not to memorize the Quran. You have to recite the great kalimah, and after reciting the kalimah, you must commit yourself to fulfill the right of reciting the kalimah, which is to do the work of inviting people to Allah, or inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of your wealth and time, in the way Muhammad SAW, with the intention to please Allah, until Allah is pleased with you. When Allah is pleased with you, Allah will make the great kalima to be inculcated, to be installed inside your heart, at least to the level which Allah is pleased, which will make you to become the true believer with the good deeds. Good deeds mean good character. Then only your country is a developed nation, because the people who live in the country all are having good characters, and then you build your country to have good highways, build good buildings, good food. Then only a developed nation. Not having people of your country like animals, like America, like Europe, like China, and then making high-rise building, good roads, is just an animal kingdom, not a good nation. It's animal kingdoms. That's why one person from America is a Muslim, Colonel Amiruddin. When he give bayan, he doesn't say America developed nation. He said the animal kingdom of America. The animal kingdom of America. People don't regard them. If you have animal kingdom and you want to copy America and saying that you are a developed nation, you are fools, bloody fools. What Mahathir think of a developed nation? He never dared to explain to his people of Malaysia what he mean by developed nation. Him simply saying we want to become developed nation by 2020. At the end, we only have lockdown. One relative of mine, he's a doctor, bone specialist. He said, I was always wondering what will happen in 2020. Not that I know. When 2020 come, we have to stay in the house all the while. Lockdown only. We are not able to become a developed nation because we don't even know, we couldn't even define what developed nation is, and we never have a working plan to achieve that. We are not doing the work of inviting people to good. We do not persuading the people to have iman and good faith and good action. How can we become a country we call a developed nation? And then only we can build roads, buildings. That's very easy. To become a developed nation, making roads and buildings is so easy. It doesn't take years. But to become developed nation in the real sense of the word, which Allah loves, is to have in that nation people of good characters, or ulul albab. My friend has somehow a little bit nearer to that definition of a developed nation, having ulul albab. But the working plan is not right. Training them to become people memorize the Quran is not to make them ulul albab. The reason as to why my friend are not able to have the correct working plan, because he don't even know what ulul albab is. If he knows, then he have a correct working plan. In order to have ulul albab, we cannot make them to memorize Quran. No, we have to make them to do the work of Nabi, to do the work of prophets. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is ulul albab. To make a person to become the lover of Allah, also we have to do the work of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is the lover of Allah. But to become animals, you have to do like America, drink, swine, fucking your wife day and night. People in America, their main work actually is fucking. Fucking not only their wife, everybody. They fuck each other day and night. Drinks alcohol. You think that is developed nation? Fucking. Like Hanzala, love to fuck only. Isn't Hanzala? Your aim of life is just fucking people. Yeah. Not even your wife. Fucking every woman. Like the Americans. Huh? So these are not developed anymore. This is called animalistic kingdom of America. Animal kingdom of England. And everybody in the whole world follow these animal kingdoms. No? When Turkey want to join EU, European Union, one of the condition is you must let people freely fucking each other. They say you don't tell they are doing wrong. You cannot catch them. If they fuck one another free, they like and they mutually like to fuck one another, you shouldn't regard that as wrong. So these European Unions are consistent of country where fucking is allowed to be done as long as you are mutually interested with each other. Must said no. Endogen say no, we're not willing to do that. So you cannot join our animal kingdoms. So they're still working towards becoming one of the country in EU, not accepted, because Turkey not willing to become a country where people are allowed to fuck one another. As long they cannot force people. If they force people, if they fuck one before, then they become crimes. As long as they don't force, they're mutually interested with each other to fuck, it's okay. So that is called a country where people are allowed to fuck as long as they like, and this is called fucking animal country, not developed country. Highly fucking, and that's why they always utter these words, every time, everywhere in Australia, fuck, because they are doing that. They are the animals. We are not. We are to always not to say fuck. We say Allah. Allah. We look at the sky, we say Allah. We look at the moon, we say Allah. But no one of us want to become a person of that kind, but a person who fuck, like the West, the Chinese, the East. So these are not developed nation. There is no developed nation in the whole country ever existed. When we want to develop a country, when we want to rule a country, see what Allah wants. If you become the leader of a country, the Muslim country, the president, or first of all, before you embark on your job as a prime minister or president, ask what Allah wants. To lead my people, either to become animals or to become ulul albab. And then you must know what ulul albab is, what are the true believers, the good deeds are, what are the levels are. Then after knowing it, then you make a working plan, how to produce a man of ulul albab, how to produce a man of taqwa. And this is what it's all about, of developing a nation. Megawati, when asked, interviewed, he said this is about developing a nation. They term that as developing a nation, to build a country with high-rise building, good roads everywhere, good food, good houses. That's all. The main thing is to make us a good person, not to have a good house, not to have a good road, not to have a good building. To become a good person, that is the first thing that we have to do if we want to make our country a developed nation. But unfortunately, none of any prime minister or president, the so-called Muslim in the whole world, who has that aim as their first aim, is to make the person and the people of his country to become the person who are the true believers of good deeds. Not even the president, even the whole people in the whole country, like Indonesia, want to make their country a modern country. Once they can copy Malaysia, building good roads, good hospital, high-rise building. So they keep on competing. Malaysia baju, Malaysia modern sedap. And this is all the things that modern are not important. It's all one earthquake, everything is completely destroyed. But the real value of any nation, the real value of anything, of any nation, any country, is to have good people with good characters. And people with good character will never be able to be produced without having the good faith in Allah. And the good faith in Allah will never be able to be inculcated into our heart unless We do the work of the prophets of Allah. Unless and until we make the whole people in our country doing the work of the Prophet of Allah, either man or woman, will never be able to achieve a developed nations. Okay.